So supposedly there's 308 steps to get to the lighthouse, and it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to go down. Going up might be a different story. It's going to be like maybe 2 hours. Good morning from Muir Woods National Park in California. This is actually just about maybe an hour away from San Francisco. Today is going to be a National Parks Day. I have a few national parks around this area to visit, and we're gonna start this morning with the Muir Woods. If you are not familiar with it, this is where you can find a lot of giant coastal Californian trees, and we're just gonna take a look and learn more about our national parks. Alright, let's go in! Park opens at 8 o'clock. It's still quiet and still cool, and you just appreciate the nature, or so to speak, and it's just not many people around, which is great. And so far it's beautiful. I love being here. It's so pretty. Redwoods is like the giant trees that's been here for like hundreds of years, and it's amazing to actually see some mature forest in the United States. The Cathedral Grove is the designated quiet area for the wildlife, so that they have a refuge place for them to stay. It's nice to walk through it. It's named Cathedral Grove because there's a lot of big redwood tree trunks, just kind of have the same feeling as the big pillars in the cathedral. It's really quiet, it's really peaceful. Addicted to connection, there's actually no service in this area. It's probably a good thing to unplug now and then, but sometimes, you want to look something up and you just can't do it. At least you can find like a lot of information around here, so you can just read and learn more about Muir Woods. Redwoods are the tallest trees in the world, and it's just amazing to actually look around and you're surrounded by them. Some of them, a couple hundred or 1,000 years old, so it's just amazing. It's really cool. Although these trees are really tall, they have a very shallow roots. It's a good thing National Service built this boardwalk so that we can not stepping on the sensitive roots. That's why we need our National Park Service. Try to protect anything like this that could be destroyed by human. This is the National Parks brochure. Those are people like you and me. And then a mature sequoia can go that big. Some of these tall trees will never get cut in their lifetime, and some of them actually 23 stories high, 376 feet tall. Back in like 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, this whole area was covered with these coastal redwoods, but during the California gold rush, most of them cut down, and fortunately this small patch of land was privately owned by a couple and donated to the national parks, and it is still protected by the federal law. It's about 1 mile from the visitor center to get to this point, and it's all paved, and if you are in a wheelchair or strollers, you can access it to this point. Then all this trail turn into the Bootjack Trail, and it continues on and start to be actually trails. I'm gonna turn around here, just the end of the paved trail, and then just gonna go back towards the visitor center, and they're just going to complete about 2-mile loop. This is called a hillside trail because it is hilly to get up here, but it's not too bad. But it's actually cool because you're sort of walking along the canopy. Well, not really the canopy, but slightly above the root line, so you can see a little bit more of the mid-range of the redwoods. Grove is doing this thing. There's a perfectly framed tree trunk that you can just climb in and take a photo. I assume that's not intentional, but it just happened to be like this because of the fire and burn down the middle part of the trunk, but somehow it survived. That's amazing. You could actually stand inside of it. Isn't that cool? Muir Woods is impressive. This is my first time seeing redwood trees, and they are impressive. Right behind me here is a redwood tree specimen that fell down in 1930s. The tree trunk getting bigger and bigger. They grow spring every single year. On this particular one, this guy was born in 909, and so it's over 1,000 years old, and it fell down in 1930. But during that time, it basically seen a lot of different things that happening, so it's really impressive. If you are planning on visiting Muir Woods, a few things to know. One, you have to make a reservation. Parking is very limited here, and you have to purchase a reservation online. There's no way around it. It costs $8. And number two, this is not a free national park, so there's a $10 admission fee, and this is paid right here at the cabin behind me. Just be prepared. Visitor center here at Point Reyes National Seashore. The ranger just informed me that the lighthouse is open, so there's about 45-minute drive from this particular spot.
Explore the lighthouse. It's going to give yourself an hour.
It's going to be cold, but I think it's worth the try. And we actually also collect the stamps. Every visitor center have one of these unique stamps, and you can collect them in one of these passports. Collect them all. I'm so happy. It's windy as hell, but I'm glad I actually didn't miss this. It was completely empty, and then now all of a sudden there's like 5 or 6 cars coming in. You're not supposed to park on the side of the road, but you're supposed to be driving down and then park legally in the administrative building. Park ranger, so big ears. We arrived at the lighthouse. It's so windy, I can actually see all the movement outside. I know it's gonna be cold, it's gonna be windy, it's gonna be beautiful and bright. So with that in mind, I'm gonna grab my jacket, I'm going to grab my sunglasses, I'm gonna walk around enjoying the sunny, beautiful day. Park ranger residence. It would be nice. So supposedly there's 308 steps to get to the lighthouse, and it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to go down. Going up might be a different story. It's gonna be like maybe 2 hours. We'll find out.
So down at the point of the needle light, the lens is composed of a series of circular rings stacked stacked one on top of another, broadcasting the light equally in all directions around the horizon all the time.
It's very interesting. It's a lot of facts to learn. This is the only lighthouse in the National Park Service that is still consists of the original lights in all the prism and the main structure and everything else. So this is a very unique artifact of the National Park Service. How so windy that is. They have some of these numbers just to mark all the stairs. Now on my way back up to the top. It's a workout. Almost up there. Special stamp for those who completed the 308 steps down to the lighthouse. Just in case it come up in any of your trivia question, Point Reyes is the windiest and the foggiest place in the west coast. That was a fun day at the national parks. I'm making my way back to the town center. It's a pretty drive. There's a lot of historical ranch around here.
In 1,000 feet, take exit 442 towards Sausalito.
Yeah, I guess I'm in the Marin Headlands Hostel, which is where I'm gonna stay tonight, and it's a bit eerie. I just checked into my hostel. This is the 8-bed male dormitory. I got my lower bunk bed, and I actually take advantage of traveling by myself this time because Michael would hate to stay in this dormitory style hostel, but I simply don't mind it. So there's actually 107 guests tonight. So this is such a huge hostel. Very interesting hostel. This hostel was built in 1907 by the US Army. It is designated as a medical barrack to house some disease that unknown at that time, including yellow fever, and eventually it converted into a hostel. And I will put the link down below, so definitely check it out if you are interested in staying here. It's definitely a very good setting hostel, and it's not far away from the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. If you enjoy our travel videos, please don't forget to subscribe. And we are busy traveling around the world, and we will update our travel blog frequently. So please do hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification button so that you always get our new and fresh travel vlogs. The visitor center is about 1.5 miles. What is it? Yep. So it's about 1 mile. Try to find the 4-leaf clover. Clover, 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 clover.